Wherever you go, people often ask about your emotional intelligence. You go for an interview, you are in a social group, and the question of intelligence, intellectual intelligence, is replaced by emotionally being stable and intelligent. And it is the way you perceive, understand, express, and manage your emotions. As a matter of fact, emotional intelligence can mean a difference between behaving in a socially acceptable way and being considered to be way out of line. Now, let me tell you very frankly that being way out of the line is not too bad, provided you are otherwise emotionally stable. I agree that most of you might not have bothered about emotional intelligence, and even if you heard it, you ignored it. The reality is that not many people know how to spot it, either in themselves or in others. We talk of emotional intelligence, and I was talking to the members of the Chamber of Commerce, and he asked them a very simple question. Do you know who is emotionally intelligent? Are you emotionally intelligent? And I could see absolutely blank faces. They know the term, they know the jargon, they don't know what it is. And then one gentleman who was CEO of a big concern having more than, I think, $200 billion turnover, he said, Dr. Lamba, can you tell us how to spot it? How to spot emotional intelligence in ourselves and in our employees, in our colleagues, in our social circle. And it's important because more you understand these aspects, the better it is for your mental health and social behavior. And what I'm going to talk is how to spot your emotional intelligence. You can transfer this knowledge based on observation to your colleagues or your employees or your bosses. But the most important thing is that you have to better yourself. You have to be emotionally intelligent first. Even if you don't care about that, because once you are emotionally intelligent, coupled with your intellectual intelligence, you are in a way to progress. And many times you would find that these are the things you do not even think about. You just ignore them. Most of the people are aware, but not in the terms that we talk about. As a matter of fact, might be these skills you need to work on. These characteristics are mostly the result of your environment, your upbringing, your education. And they can be altered, changed, modified according to the need. As a matter of fact, emotional intelligence can be useful in almost all circumstances. Be at your home, in school, in a university, in work, or even when you are socializing, just socializing with your friends. So I'll tell you 4 characteristics which can identify your emotional intelligence. The first one is, of course, your reactions. Do you think about your reactions? Do you ruminate? You know, cows and what they do to digest, they chew the cud, and the process of digestion. Same way, your emotion, anger, love, disappointment, frustration, happiness. Have you ever tried to analyze your reaction? Emotional intelligence can be the difference between a good reaction and a bad reaction to the circumstance. Emotions can contain important information that can be useful to your personal life and to your social functioning and to your work functioning. And sometimes these emotions overwhelm you and make you act in a way wherein you should not have acted. But if you think about it, if you ruminate about it, then next time you will not possibly react in the same way. The people who lack emotional intelligence just react. Just react. Instant. And there is again nothing wrong with that, provided your reactions are controlled. I remember I had an employee and his complaints were many. My vice president HR with me. So I asked the guys to call that guy. He came in and I gave him left and right, full of anger. The guy started practically shivering. And I said, get lost, this is the last of you, get out. He went out and I started laughing. And my Vice President HR, he was a guy, he says, just Dr. Lamba, you were full of anger and now you're laughing. And I told him, look, my anger was a controlled anger, it was a contrived anger. It was more an act of, or rather an act of being angry. But in my heart, I don't carry the hatred. What I was shouting at him was for his good and for the good of the organization which we are working together. It was not a reaction, it was a controlled reaction. You know, there's an atomic bomb, a nuclear bomb, it bursts and destroys everything. But if there's a controlled fission, then the destruction is not much, it can be useful. You are suffering from thyroid, you are giving the nuclear medicine, that's a control. Same is about your reaction. So the people who just react without giving them time to think about the pros and the cons of the situation and really thinking, they are not emotionally intelligent. People who are able to regulate their negative feelings are able to function better way, and socially they are much more successful. They do not increase depressive feeling. People with major depression have been shown to have difficulty understanding and managing your emotions. At this time, matter of fact, you can become depressive maniac if you don't control and then analyze your. And most of the depression cases, I'm depressed, is because you have not reacted in a controlled manner. So you think about your reactions, analyze them, and next time avoid that situation. People having a lower emotional intelligence would always be victims of depression, and that is not something very healthy. Second, the second characteristic, do you see the situations as a challenge? As a matter of fact, for me, every situation is an opportunity to do better. It's a challenge to overcome. Do you focus on persevering? Chances are, if you do so, you have a high emotional intelligence. Imagine for a moment, you lose your job. An emotionally intelligent person might perceive these emotions to take some action, deal with the challenges, and control their thoughts and feelings. But someone with poor emotional skills might get depressed, think of themselves as hopelessly unemployable, spiral into depression. I'm no good, I cannot keep a job. No, maybe it's an opportunity. I remember when my Prime Minister asked for my resignation. I signed it and gave it to her on the paper. I said, you have resigned without thinking? I said, look here, man. You're the boss. You have asked my resignation, which is an honorable way out. Maybe you are unhappy. If I don't resign, you will sack me. So why should I not? Maybe things are better for me. And she smiled. The Home Secretary LP Singh came in, and my resignation was accepted, and I was appointed at a much higher level, ex-cadre appointment. There you are. Third characteristic, you can modify your emotions. Your emotions are not solid. They are always in a semi-liquid state. There are times when your feelings can get the better of you. As I said, you can get angry. Why not? You remember once I had said, give expression to your anger. Give expression to your happiness. Don't bottle them up. Bottle them up and you are trying to bottle a genie. If you can control your feelings, I'll compare the other way. If you can sublimate your emotions, sublimation is a process where the solid becomes the gas and liquid becomes, and the impurities are left behind. So, if you can do that, then you are an emotionally intelligent person. It's likely that you happen to have the skills that are needed to modify your emotions. Modify your emotions. If you are angry, be angry, and then show the benevolence with that anger. You are angry with your child. Anger is for its good. But you are angry without reason, then the child is not going to tolerate it. Same is true everywhere else. The average level of anxiety can improve your cognitive performance, your thinking power. It increases your motivation, sharpens your focus. But too much of anxiety can block the process of thought, reasoning, logic. You have to know, find the sweet spot, identify what is too much and what is too less. And that balancing act, which will modify your emotions. You are annoyed, express your annoyance. You can express it by a facial expression instead of shouting. Yes, modification. The message has gone home. And it's clear that moderation is the key when it comes to managing your emotions. You have got to develop the skill to modify your emotions vis-a-vis the intensity of emotions, yours and the recipient's. And that is why emotionally intelligent people are less anxious. And the most important thing, can you put yourself in other people's shoes? If you were in that state and somebody was reacting to you in that way, how would you feel? If you are able to extend these skills beyond your personal functioning, then that is a sign that you have a high level of emotional intelligence. A man slips on the banana and you start laughing. According to the subtle thoughts you are feeling, you are in fact saying, but for the grace of fortune, I could have fallen and I could have been in the same state. And if the man supposedly hurts himself badly, then you would not laugh. You will rush to help him. So put yourself in that condition. Always imagine that you are hurting yourself. Don't laugh at, laugh with. Emotional intelligence can be particularly important in workplaces that require heavy emotional labor. People must manage their emotions according to the rules of the organization. And these are especially for people's job, customer service job, where you have to sympathize with the customers even when the customer is yelling at you. And that is emotional intelligence. And that's the reason that workplace emotional intelligence training is now becoming more and more common in well-organized organizations. The most effective training focuses on the management and expression of your emotions, which are linked to proper communication and job performance. I was talking to CEO of a major company, startup, and I told them that your communication has to be at various levels. Whether it is a verbal communication and a non-verbal communication, a formal communication and a non-formal communication, it has to be modified as a part of your daily intercourse, and emotional intelligence has to play a very important role. Do not forget ever that emotional intelligence is cognitive ability. It can improve your performance and improve your lifespan, both the quality and the quantity of life. So if you haven't recognized in yourself these traits, fear not. Still there is time to do it. Work on your emotional intelligence. Become a super emotionally intelligent human being. And believe me, you would have bettered yourself beyond recognition. That's what you want, don't you? See you next week. Thank you.